Okay, I thought before I got started on this one, I would give you guys a little look at my setup here. So I've got my notepad, my notes, pen. I've got a Toy Story toy and my child's sippy cup. And then over here, I've got my makeshift phone stand with my little kitchen sign and our Apple Watch boxes. So yeah, this is part 2, median, mode, and range. Okay, so I did the first video and I just want to do another one so that you guys can see a couple more examples. And if you want to try these out with me, get you a scratch piece of paper and you can always pause the video on each step, and then that way you can kind of check yourself and see if you really are working these out correctly. So this is the first one we're going to do. It says, Becca ran the following miles each day this week. 3, 7, 5, 7, 3, 5, and 5. So Becca is running a lot more than Miss Evans. Miss Evans has done a lot of Netflix watching and chasing toddlers around. Okay, so let's start again with the mean or the average. Okay, so let's add these up. 3, 7, 5, 7, 3, 5, and 5. So I'm going to do this a little differently. I know that 7 and 3 makes 10. 5 and 5 makes 10. 7 and 3 makes 10. And 5. So this is a little easier for me to see that this is going to be 35. Okay, and then how many numbers did I have to begin with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to do 35 divided by 7. And I know that 35 divided by 7 is going to give me 5. So that means our mean for this example is going to be 5, or 5 miles. Good for Becca. Okay, and then median, or the middle. Median or the middle. So we're going to start by ordering these numbers least to greatest. And I'm just going to kind of use the numbers at the top. So I see a 3. And another 3. And I see 1, 5. Another 5. And one more 5. And then a 7. Oops. And one more 7. Okay, so now I can start going on the ends and marking off what I don't need. So 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3. And so I can see that I only have one number in the median, and that is 5. So my median is going to be 5. Mode. And real quick, just a reminder on median, if you have an odd amount of numbers to begin with, for example, we had 7, you're always going to end up with one number in the middle. If you have an even amount of numbers to begin with, like if you had 6 numbers or 8 numbers or 10 numbers or 20 numbers, then you're going to end up with 2 numbers in the middle that you have to average out. And we'll look at one more of those in a minute. Mode. So I'm going to list the numbers again. 3, 7, 5, 7, 3, 5, and 5. Okay, mode is again the one we see the most. So when I look at this, I see 2 3s, I see 2 7s, and then I see 3 5s. So even though there are numbers in here that appear twice, because there's a number that appears 3 times, which is more than any other number, that's going to be the mode. Okay, so 5, 5, and 5. It appears 3 times, so our mode is going to be 5. Now, if all the numbers had appeared 3 times or all the numbers had appeared twice, we could say there was no mode. But because one number does appear more than the rest, that's going to be our mode. And then our range. I see my biggest number is 7. My smallest number is 3. And 7 minus 3 is going to give me 4. So that's it. And we're going to move on to our last example. Okay. we're going to use some test grades here because like I said before, we can use mean the same way grades are calculated. So I thought that would be a good example to use. Okay, so let's look at Elise's test grades and see if we can find the mean of them. So she made a 76, a 94, an 84, a 96, a 95, and a 95. And disclaimer, these were not Elise's actual test grades. These are made up numbers, and I just used the first name that popped into my head. So I must have been thinking about Elise. Okay, so let's add them up. Okay, this would be a great time for you guys to pause this video, try to work this out yourself, and then play it and see if you get the answer right. So 6 and 4 is 10. 6 and 4 is 10, that makes 20. 5 and 5 is 10, so 6, 4, 4, 6, 5, and 5 gives me 30. 7 and 3 makes 10, plus 9 makes 19. 19 plus 8 makes 27. 27 plus 9 is going to be 36. 36 plus 9 is going to be 45. And 45 plus 9 is going to be 54. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers to begin with. So I can take 540 and divide it by 6. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 9 is 54. Took me a minute. Bring down my 0. And I know 6 obviously goes into 0 0 times. So her mean is going to be 90. And that would be her average. So now we can move on to median, or the middle. And I know because I had an even amount of numbers, there were 6 numbers here, my median should end up with 2 numbers in the middle that I need to average. So we're going to start by listing them least to greatest. So 76. And then 84. 94. 95. 95 again. And 96. Okay, now I can start marking them off. So mark off 1 and 1, 2 and 2, and I can't mark off anymore because I would have none left. So when I look at 94 and 95, again, because there's 2 in the middle, I'm going to average them up. Or if you can look and you can kind of tell what falls directly between these 2 numbers, I happen to know between 94 and 95, it's going to have to be 94.5 or 94.5. But again, if you didn't know that, we could average them up. So 94 plus 95. And then divide by 2. So 189 divided by 2. Two goes into 9 4 times. Add a decimal. And a 0, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. So yes, you would get 94.5. Okay, and then I am actually going to get another piece of paper for this. We still need to look at the mode. And the range, so I'm going to rewrite our numbers. 76, 94, 84, 96, 95, and 95. Okay, again, mode is the one you see the most. So we look at these numbers to see, is anything listed there more than once? And this one's a pretty obvious one, that 95 is listed twice, and it's the only number listed more than once. So our mode has to be 95. And then lastly, we have our range, which is again like our difference, or our largest number minus our smallest number. I can see that my biggest number is 96. My smallest number here is 76. And when I subtract those, I'm gonna get a nice round number of 20. Yeah, so that's all. Make sure you guys go into your Google Classroom. If you have any questions, just add a comment on something, and I'll try to get on and comment you back, or if you want to send me a message on Remind, that works too. Okay, bye guys, have a good day.